Hello, this is a quick channel update to let you know what's been going on in the last week or so. Basically, I have moved flat, so I am now in a new flat, and it was great, everything's fantastic, moving in, and then realised I wouldn't have internet until Friday, which is why all the videos had that kind of rushed, there will be no videos this week kind of thing on them, just so that you had some idea of what was happening. So, now that I'm back, I have internet. It is very fast, which is fantastic because it means we can upload things quicker. Don't have quite as much time to record as I used to, but we will hopefully be able to keep this schedule. We'll see how this works. What we might do, if I have more time than I expect, is we might increase some series, the amount they go out each week. If I have less time than we suspect, what I might do is I might cut... Well, Pillars is going to end soon, so I might cut Pillars' slot and see if that makes things a little bit better, because it takes a lot of recording time. We'll see. We'll see. Right now, we're going to stick with the current schedule. We're going to see how it goes. Should be absolutely fine. Another thing about this new place is that it has a different kind of environment for recording in. My previous one was perfect. It had a carpeted floor. It was not that large a room. There was no real echo, no real reverb, no real anything to worry about. Now this one, which you might be able to tell from the video, you might not be able to tell from the video, should have some echo and reverb in the audio, which isn't ideal. I'm going to try and get rid of that, but it involves a lot of kind of tweaking, small tweaking. So for next week, we're probably not going to fix that. We're probably going to be just leaving it where it is. And then before next weekend, which is going to be my next major recording session, I should have it fixed. Basically, it's because I want to get things recorded, and I think this could take some time to actually fix the audio issues. It's going to involve a lot of testing, a lot of stuff, and I want to use my time right now for recording. So, next week, audio should be fixed. That's the current plan, anyway. Yeah, there also isn't really an awful lot I can do about the echo and reverb. It's the only room that I have in the flat that I can really record in, and yeah, maybe if I have some ideas. I have some ideas about reverb. I have some ideas, but we'll talk about that next week, maybe, or we'll never talk about that ever again. I'll fix it and it'll be perfect. Anyway, let's talk about what's going to be on the channel in the next couple of weeks. So, current plan is we're going to have Avatar. It is going to be going on. We have the Water series, which should, I suspect we'll end the Water series when it either looks like we have nowhere else to go, or we'll do kind of like a last war against the Fire Nation or something like that. Just kind of as a, you know, we have done everything that we can apart from doing this one thing. Let's do this one thing. And then kind of end it there. I think that would be a cool way to end it. Still haven't quite decided yet, but we'll see. Then we're going to move on to Air or Fire. I think we might do Fire next, because I kind of want to do a shorter series, and I feel Air might be a longer series. And Fire is going to be... The reason I say Fire is going to be a shorter series is because Fire is by far the strongest nation, like, there. It is the strongest, like, thing you can play as. You start with, like, 40,000 troops. How can you not just, you know, instantly wipe out anything in your way? That's pretty much where I'm going with that. So that'll be a quick series, unless it's not, in which case it'll be fun to see what twist it throws at me. But I suspect that's going to be quick. Then we'll do a kind of slower Air one, because Air isn't going to be very powerful, so we'll see exactly how that goes. Maybe there'll be a different route we can go with Air. We'll see. I haven't actually looked at any of their mechanics yet, so we'll see. Yeah, that's enough about the Avatar one. Smashing the Patriarchy, it's currently running. We're getting to the point where we're getting stronger and we're getting larger, and our realm is starting to actually, you know, be a sizable force in the overall world. Now what we need to do is we need to actually convert. We need to get everything over to the right spot. We need to get it to the point where we can convert over to Cathar, probably, because that's the only religion that I've noticed that's popped up. So we'll probably try and convert to Cathar once we're strong enough to fight all of the Sunni nations around us. Although there are some Shia ones as well, but mainly the Sunni ones, because we currently hold Mecca. And then we'll holy war them to death, and then we'll start changing status of women and all that sort of stuff. And that'll help us with that kind of side of the achievement. After that, we're going to move on to the Game of Thrones mod. Not entirely sure what we're doing yet. I suspect it may be a couple of weeks before we get there, but it's alright. I'm not in any rush to do that, but you know, it'd be nice to get back to that mod. Apparently there's a new Crusader Kings DLC that's been kind of announced, so yeah, it'd be nice to get to the Game of Thrones mod before we have a new DLC, but we'll see. We'll see where we're going. Yeah, that DLC, we'll see. Totally unintentional, but it kind of popped into my head. Anyway, right, Mass Effect Andromeda. Here's the thing about Mass Effect Andromeda. Viewership is atrocious. Like, it is so low. Like, because I had a week off, we had a week with no videos. So I could see roughly, you know, after a week of a video being up there, how much viewership it would get. And right now, it's fairly low. It, just for context, gets less views than Pillars, which has been on for over a year now, I think. It also gets less views than the co-op stuff. It gets less views than, you know, pretty much anything else on the channel. We're going to keep playing it, though, because I enjoy the game. And because I've started it, so I'll finish. We're kind of close to the end, so I think. Like, we're getting to the point where the game is opened up. It's all very fast. It's all very exciting. We're getting close to the end. I think we're just going to keep playing it. And then we're going to move on to Skyrim, which should do absolutely fine on the channel once again. Yeah, that's about it for Mass Effect. Mass Effect is getting better with each patch, by the way. Like, if you were sleeping on kind of Mass Effect Andromeda, you were like, oh, animations don't look great, all of that stuff doesn't look great, it's full of bugs, all that sort of stuff. They're fixing it with each patch, so I recommend, you know, go check out the patch notes if you're, you know, on the fence about the game. It's actually kind of fun. It's, kind of like Mass Effect, basically. Not quite as good as like 2 or something like that. Let's say that if 2 and 1 for me are about 9s, 9.5. 3 is a little bit lower. Let's say that Mass Effect Andromeda is like an 8 or something like that. It's alright, it's pretty good, but it's not absolutely amazing. It's not, you know, the top of the top. It's just a fun game. So that's my pitch for Mass Effect Andromeda. And obviously my next pitch is, go check out my videos if you're, you know, still on the fence about it. Anyway, Pillars of Eternity. Pillars of Eternity, we're on to the second DLC. We just finished the Endless Paths, which was the major combat kind of section. In the second DLC, we still have to finish off a little bit of the first DLC. We've got a combat tower, I think that's what it is. Something like that. And then we have a dragon fight that we need to go back to, which is, I have heard from forums and things, the most difficult fight in the game, and the combat tower is something like one of the most difficult areas in the game. So I think that that's fair that we leave it till a little bit later. After we finish second DLC, I believe there was like nothing of the main game left. There's one area which I don't imagine being that large, because it's kind of like you go into this area, this is the point of no return. There's no like going off to do other side quests from what I can tell once you go into this area. So it's like, okay, well, you know, it's probably going to be like a dungeon or maybe 2 dungeons before the end, depending on how they split it up. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Anyway, that's about it for everything that is currently on the channel. Oh, I forgot to talk about Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate is going to be our next co-op one. We have not recorded any so far. He has not been around since I've had internet, so I haven't had a chance to speak with him. But we will probably be doing that at some point. We did do a test run before I moved, which was alright. We learned a lot about the game. We learned a few little things here and there. We learned there is a revive mechanic in the game, which we learned about, oh, I don't know, an hour after one of us had died and their corpse had long been forgotten in location. So we are going to get to it. We're going to go properly into it. We're going to be well prepared, and hopefully there won't be corpses that we need to revive in the next one that we do. Anyway, I suppose we should talk about the bit at the bottom, which I haven't actually updated, but we'll see how it goes. CK2 mods, I believe a Game of Thrones mod should be like properly updated, so it should be green. It's like ready to go. Haven't heard anything about the Warhammer mod. I would assume after the end mod is like, it seemed to be updating a lot. I haven't actually looked at it at all. It seems to be updating a lot. Elder Kings, I assume, won't get updated for this next, for this current patch. Witcher, I assume, won't get updated for the current patch, though I haven't checked. Yeah, I would assume that a lot of these ones that aren't going to be updated for the current patch might be updated for the one after, because it sounds like the one after the rumors that I heard, I haven't looked at all into this, so if I'm just rumor mongering, spreading things that aren't true, then, you know, witch hunt away at me. But basically I heard that it's CK2 Tibet is the next one, which would it would imply what they're doing is they're expanding the base game in terms of size, like it's another Rajas of India kind of thing. But what that means for a lot of these mods is that basically they're not going to add in a ton of mechanics. They may add in, like, you know, special mechanics for that religion that they add in, special mechanics for that culture. But I don't see them adding in like a fundamental game system like societies, which every single religion has to deal with. They're probably going to add in things that only one culture and one religion has to deal with. So I think that's going to be interesting for modding, because it means that it's probably going to be a very quick mod cycle, very quick update cycle for that mod, because unless they specifically want to use that religion and culture and all the new things that are going to exist for that, then it's not actually going to add anything new, because they're not going to add Tibet into the mod, because that's just extra land. It will probably also mean that if that is true, that CK2 is going to have even more optimizations added into it, which will be fantastic for mods, because it'll be interesting to see how some of these mods do. Like, some of the mods are going even quicker. Like, they are really starting to be, you know, quick with the new optimizations. I'd be interested to see what happens if they get if the game gets optimized further, whether these mods continue to get more more benefits from that. I think that would be really cool for the mods, so we'll see. Other things, we have RPGs. Not really sure what we're going to do with this. I don't think Mass Effect is quite as high up as when I did this thing, just because Andromeda is not really that popular on the channel. It seems like that would be a really bad idea to do. Things that are popular on the channel, by the way, Jade Empire is actually like consistently in the top 10 for series viewed, or for videos viewed, in the last 28 days, because that's something YouTube does. It shows you videos viewed last 20 days. I mean, it'll probably be knocked out by Avatar currently, but usually you'll see Jade Empire up there a lot, which makes me think that perhaps doing Knights of the Old Republic would be good. Kind of similar games, similar concept. I know the game very well, so I think that would work very, very well as a series. Witcher as well, in that same kind of aspect. I don't know it quite as well, but Witcher is a game I have played before. Witcher 1 I'm talking about here. And then Witcher 2 I've also played a few times, I think. Well, I played most of Witcher 2 a few times. And then Witcher 3 is something that I'm most of the way through. But yeah, it could be fun to do a Witcher playthrough. Maybe not right away, until we've got the schedule actually sorted, but that could be fun. In the other section, I really want to try out RimWorld again at some point. I've heard it's got a lot of updates, a lot of patches. Seems like it'd be a lot of fun to go back to that. Banished, I'm not as high on, as well as City Skylines. I'm kind of like, yeah, okay, we'll get to if we get to them, we get to them, but they're not high on my list. Mountain Blade is something I want to maybe give another shot as well, because people seem to enjoy watching it. And it kind of just stopped because I ran out of time to record it, and then I didn't feel like going back to the same series, so Mountain Blade is something we'll do. Telltale is also something that will come up at some point, because there's been one episode of The Walking Dead since I last did it, and then there's going to be another episode of The Walking Dead in 10 days, so, and it's going to be the final one, I believe, so we'll get to that when we get to that, basically. I kind of missed the point to do it on release, so we'll get to it when we get to it. I think that the previous one really was like, I don't know, was it not like a couple of weeks ago or something? I don't know. Anyway, basically, Telltale is something we will do. I've heard good things about Guardian of the Galaxy game, but I'm not that big a fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy style humor. Which, I mean, they're fun. They're fine. I quite like the movies. But I'm worried the games are going to be kind of that, you know, we're just going to throw line after line after line of kind of funny lines at you. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see how people feel about the remaining episodes, but I'm not rushing to do that one. Other things, I can't think of any other Telltale ones that I'd be rushing to do right now. So yeah, move on to co-op. Divinity and Pit People aren't finished, which is why we're doing Baldur's Gate. That's about it for the update, so thank you for watching. I would like to say though, if you were wondering why I wasn't around for last week, and it was during the last week. I mean, if you've watched this video, you now know why I wasn't around for the last week. But I did put it up on my Discord, so definitely go and check that out if you want to be up to date on that sort of stuff. I'll probably start using Discord again now that I have internet, which was the reason I've been kind of absent from it for a while. So let's end the video here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.